Well. I do believe it was the first Donald Trump administration. The last time the Bears won 4 games in a row, they have now gotten that done after an 0-2 start. The Bears have positioned themselves to really be in some type of postseason conversation. Long way to go, understand that, but you got to be proud of the job that Coach Ben Johnson, his staff, and his players have done after losing the opener at home Monday Night Football to the Minnesota Vikings, going to Detroit and getting absolutely smacked. They've turned this whole thing around. They beat the Dallas Cowboys, went to Vegas, beat the Raiders, went to Washington on a Monday night, got that win, and then came back home for another impressive win over a bad Saints team. You don't apologize for beating bad teams. You just beat them and the Bears took care of business. But what's been most important throughout this entire stretch is the amount of turnovers that the Bears have created. 15 turnovers in a 4-game stretch. The Bears are on a historic run in terms of the way they're taking the ball away right now. Is that sustainable? I don't know. Can the Bears continue to put up 200 rushing yards like they did against the Saints? I don't know. Both of those things are probably doubtful, right? But two things can be true, right? They can be taking advantage of some things that maybe they can't sustain throughout the entirety of the rest of the season. But also you got to acknowledge that they're finding ways to win football games. Against the Saints on Sunday, the passing game just wasn't there. Caleb did not play his best game. They were not very efficient. There were some drops. There were some pass protection issues. But the Bears found ways to move the ball, namely putting it in the hands of DeAndre Swift and rookie 7th-round pick Kyle Monangai. The Bears had 222 rushing yards, 124 from Dre, 81 from Kyle. They were able to get the ground game established. That combined with the defense and how they were taking the ball away, the game was never in question. The Bears did give up 2 touchdowns that kind of wrapped around halftime, one drive right before the half, another drive coming right after the half. Coach Johnson said they didn't play those middle 8 minutes of the game, if you will, up to the standard that they need to, but it did not derail them. And he acknowledged that against the Minnesota Vikings when they were dominating the game early. As soon as the Vikings started to get a little momentum, the Bears could not recover, could not regain control of that game. This time they did a much better job of doing that. He also, Coach Johnson, acknowledged that the Bears did a much better job of turning around on a short week. That Minnesota Vikings game was also a Monday night game. They could not get themselves prepared for the Detroit game, and that's when they went out there and got walloped. This time, coming off a big Monday night game in Washington, the Bears were able to reset physically, mentally, come out there prepared to do what they needed to do against the New Orleans Saints. Right now, you got to feel good about what the Bears have put on tape these past 4 weeks. You're starting to see the defensive line come together. Montez Sweat had a big game yesterday. He had not only the strip sack that created the first takeaway for the Bears, but he also had a series of big plays, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, where he stuffed the run game for the New Orleans Saints all by itself, stacked the offensive linemen, shedded them, then made the tackle in the hole. I talked about that with him in the locker room. He was equally as proud of those plays as he was the strip sack, and he absolutely should be. They're going to need Montez Sweat to continue to play at a really high level, and the defensive line as a whole to continue to produce. You like what you're seeing from guys like Dominique Robinson right now. They're all getting involved and not only creating pass rush, but getting penetration in the backfield to create some of these TFLs in the running game. Offensively, listen, it might take a while. It's going to have to continue to come together. At first, we were talking about, oh, they can't get the run game going. They can't get the run game going. What's up with Dre? Well, Dre's now had 2 straight games with 100-yard rushes. You saw with 100 yards rushing. You saw Kyle Monangai get involved in it yesterday. Even Roschon Johnson got involved with it in the running game yesterday as well. On Sunday, I should say, had an opportunity to talk to him out on the field after the game. And he was just like, man, we finally get a chance to let the beast out. And that's what I was saying to him. He's like, yeah, man, it felt good to kind of get rolling, be involved in it. And so you're starting to see this running game come together, and maybe the offensive line is going to be able to lean on that, even on days when the passing game isn't producing the way they would like to. Caleb Williams is going to have to be a little bit more consistent. You saw him holding the ball in the pocket against the Saints. Coach Johnson gave a lot of credit to Chase Young, the defensive end from the Saints. He was whooping Theo Benedet's ass all afternoon long. Theo acknowledged, listen, I didn't play winning football. I asked Coach Johnson about that in his Monday afternoon press conference. He said, listen, Theo definitely played inconsistent yesterday, to say the least, Coach said. But he said, we think he's going to continue to get better and better as he gets more and more opportunities. So that revolving door that we kind of saw at left tackle, in the preseason and even going into the season, when Coach was very open and honest about the possibility of that, saying that competition can go into the season and maybe up into and through the bye week. That's not the case no more. That's going to be Theo Benedet's job unless he continues to play at a really poor level, which I don't think he is. I think he's going to continue to settle into that position He's got Joe Tooney next to him. They can continue to establish the running game. That should help them in the passing game. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Herb Howard Show. Coming up, we got Give Me a Sawbuck. Jen going to sit down and chop it up with me about what he thought about the game as well. We sit next to each other in the booth and watch the entirety of that game. We'll go around the league with some of the other games, and then we'll wrap things up with Buddy ass tweaking. There's a lot of buddies tweaking New York Giants. We'll be right back after this.
Look, welcome to Plants on the Gridiron. It's Chicago's first and only plant-based tailgate.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like. Bigger world, baby.
And here's what we love. It is Chicago's most unique event. We combine health, we combine sports, love of football, and you gotta bear down. Chicago Bears, baby.
The community coming together and just enjoying some really good plant-based food. There's people here that are meat eaters, there's people here that are fully plant-based, and we can come together as a community and just really have an impactful event.
Because we are Chicago homegrown. Come late, the food gonna be gone.
I am the Sumo, Morgan Park, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
This is Jason Kidd, and we're rocking with the Bigs.
I'm Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
What's up, y'all? This is Kyrie Irving. You're tuned into the Bigs.
What's happening is Dame Lillard, a.k.a. Dame Dollar, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
What's up? This is D Rose, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
This is Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks. You're rocking with the Bigs.
Welcome back inside the big studio. This time for my favorite segment, Give Me a Sawbuck. Asking the guys for about 10 minutes of their time to chop it up about these here Chicago Bears. Gene is in the spot. We chopping it up. I'm sorry, P. I didn't mean to do that. Don't curse at me.
What you doing, man?
What you doing, man? He yelling like a coach on the sideline at me. Didn't mean to put my slight beard on the mic. Very slight. Gene, we was in the booth on Sunday, man. Bears get their fourth win, albeit against a bad Saints team. I'm not finna sit in front act like they beat the '85 Bears or the Patriots and none of that in their heyday. But a win is a win. You don't apologize for them, and the Bears did a lot of positive things.
Definitely don't apologize for winning, man. I felt like, for me, at this point in the season, they're 4-2, so they're 6 games in, so they're a little bit over a third of the way home.
Right.
For me, it's all about progression at this point. And the sign of a good ball club progressing is being able to win games in several different ways. And we saw that this week. Specifically what you mentioned in your intro, I felt like the Bears could have packed them people up expeditiously and sent them on packing.
Should have been a 40-point joint.
But not finishing out the half strong, taking 3 instead of getting 6, And then what I took from Ben Johnson's post game, mostly, he ain't happy with the offense, man. Specifically, I don't know if it was Leisure or who asked him about the offense so far through these 6 games, and he was basically up and down, up and down. And for me, like you said, Caleb Williams, he's going to have to continue to be a little more consistent. But again, winning games, the defense, 4 sacks, 4 more takeaways. I think they lead the league with 16 takeaways. I think they got 15 in the last 5 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, being able to pound the run game, DeAndre Swift showing what he's made of, Kyle Monungai, Roshan Johnson. Yep. I didn't even know who he was. Remember, we walked on the field. I said, man, who is Buddy? Like, man, that's Roshan Johnson. I'm like, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's always interesting to kind of just see the guys, in natural human form. That's the relative anonymity of football players, right?
Always with them helmets.
The helmets, the pads, you don't really know what these guys look like. They're just names and numbers for the most part, which is why you hear football players do that weird thing when you meet them. It's like, hey, what's good? I'm Herb. And they're like, yo, I'm Brian Urlacher, number 54. Not Urlacher because he's a superstar, but that's just, they introduce themselves by their name and number and position. Like, nobody even asked you that, bro. Pipe down. We just bumped into each other in the restaurant or something. Like, cool out. Versus basketball players that they play in tank top and shorts. Everybody see them, they know them, and it's a different level of notoriety and recognition. So, football players do that extra stuff. But I think that we've heard Coach Johnson talk about the necessity of winning games in a lot of different ways, right? Being able to win, whether you got to throw it 40 times, run it 40 times, whatever it takes. And sometimes that's going to be a week-to-week game plan proposition. And sometimes you just get into the game and realize this ain't working. We got to do the other thing. And I appreciate the Bears' ability from a play calling standpoint and an execution standpoint to pivot mid-game, because that's not an easy thing to do. And so, Coach Johnson recognized that the running game was going to be what was needed on Sunday, and then he leaned on it, and they got 222 out of it. So I think that's a really, really cool thing. You got to be able to find that balance, though. So they're going to have to be able to, figure out the passing game and the running game together if they're going to be ultimately as successful as they want.
Basic principles of football, man. My football coming up: run the ball, stop the run.
Yeah.
I think the Bears did a great job. We talked about that front 4 being lackluster those first few games.
What them foes at?
Man, 44 yards between Alvin Kamara and that rushing game in New Orleans. 44 yards. It's 2 weeks in a row. I know I was gonna call them the Redskins, the Commanders.
Yeah.
I know they had maybe a little over 100, but I know Jaden Daniels had like 58 of them, so that doesn't really count. So 2 straight weeks of them stopping the run game. Feel like that's another positive for the guys. But when I rewatched the game, I didn't watch it all. I watched a few plays sparingly here and there. And what I noticed from the Saints, which is a reason why they kind of hung around in there, they didn't really stack the box on the Bears like that. They kind of gave up the run because they didn't want to give up the big play because they know about Coach Ben Johnson and his offensive playbook. So I got to give the Saints a little bit of credit for hanging around in there, being able, Chris Olave making those 2 touchdown catches, keeping the game close, but the Bears ultimately finished them off.
I think offensively, that's what the Bears want to be, right? They want to make defensive coordinators pick your poison, right? So we got all these weapons outside, and DJ and Rome and Ozzie and Luther and the tight ends. Like, are you going to let us get busy with them throwing the ball, or you going to let us run the ball? Right? You got to pick one or the other. And so, if you decide you don't want to get beat in the passing game, so you're going to constantly, drop 5 and drop 6, no problem. We cool with that. We'll take the light box and run on it, right? We can get 5 and 6 in the box. We'll take that all day. So I think, football is a simple game sometimes, man. It's not really that difficult. It's a numbers game. So you come to the line of scrimmage, and maybe you got a pass play call, but you see they dropping in coverage, and now you got a light box. It's 5-6. It's 6 on 5. We got the O-line and the tight end. We're going to take the 6 on 5 and just call it run play. And then you take the 3 to 4. We heard Kyle Monungai yesterday in his press conference talked about Coach Eric Bieniemy always telling them, hey, find 4.5. After that, whatever you want to do. But give me my 4.5. You know what I mean? And so the Bears were able to consistently do that yesterday. As for the Bears defense and what they were able to do, man, it was, like I said, throw them foes up, man. They had 4 takeaways, 4 sacks. They only gave up 44 yards in their 4th straight win. So it was just, fours across the board. So I think that, you want to continue to see that, man. You got to shout out Tremaine Edmonds, who we're gonna see him talk in the locker room after the game. Had a decent conversation with him coming up in a minute, but he's just playing at a really, really high level right now. He's got more tackles over the course of the last 4 games than he's had at any point in the 4-game stretch of his career. He's balling right now. Had another takeaway yesterday, interception. That's his 3rd on the season. And I just like that they're moving him around, man. We heard about that from Coach D.A., Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, early in the process when he got hired. He's like, man, I'll move anybody around. And he got guys that he can move around. So Tremaine Edmonds is playing a lot of weak side linebacker. You're getting TJ in the middle. He's like, whatever. It's about matchups. Mike linebacker, Will linebacker. Boy, football player. Let's go with that, right? And you see the same thing with Kyler Gordon, with Jaquan Brisker. Kyler, may get an opportunity to play outside, which he relishes and he's super excited about. He hasn't had an opportunity to play outside corner since they drafted him. They drafted him to play nickel. They re-signed him, gave him one of the highest nickel contracts, but nickels don't get paid like outside corners. They just don't. For whatever reason, they're not valued that way. And I think they should be, because I think Kyler offers the Bears so much more as a slot corner than as an outside corner. Not to say that I don't think he can be a good outside corner. That's all he played in college. He never played nickel until he got to the league. But I think what he does from the slot in terms of what he can bring in the run game, what he can bring as a pass rusher, and we saw all of that on display. We saw the full Kyler Gordon, football player on Sunday in terms of what he can bring to the field. And so as soon as I saw him in the locker room, I was like, welcome back, bro. And he kind of laughed. He's like, I played last week. I'm like, yeah, but no, this was you. You know what I mean? He like, no, you're right. I felt like myself out there. He's like, I still ain't quite all the way back to feeling like complete and just being in tune. He's like, so there's more to come, but I think he's more valuable there. That being said, Tyreek Stevenson, the Bears cornerback, went down in the game. We'll find out later this week, tomorrow, Thursday, see what it's looking like. But Coach said that it's a day-to-day, week-to-week type of thing. So if I had to guess, and I'm purely guessing, I think he might be on the shelf this week, and then you'll see Kyler Gordon bumped outside. I think that's what you'll most likely see. You got to remember that Terrell Smith, the Bears' backup corner that they got a lot of faith in, he went down for the season in the preseason. So, you bump Kyler out. They got a lot of faith in Nick McLeod to come in and play the nickel. He was playing it while Kyler was out anyway. Josh Blackwell also plays the nickel at a high level, so they feel okay about that. Bump Kyler to the outside. We'll see what that looks like for them. But right now, you got to feel good about what they're doing right now.
And TJ Edwards and Kyler Gordon just coming back, adding to that defense, I think it's kind of giving them that extra energy boost. And, man, they flying around like them old lovey bears, man. They looking kind of decent out there. I ain't going to jump too fast. I ain't going to jump off the porch too quick. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from them guys, man. You got to be a takeaway machine, man, and they've been doing it.
You're not wrong, man. You're starting to get that feeling where you're watching the game. You get that feeling like they finna take the ball away. Or feel like any play they could take the ball away. They playing like that. They haven't had turnovers at this rate since the 2018 season. Then, like you said, you go back to them Briggs, Lack, Mike Brown eras where they just where they just constantly taking the ball away. It's starting to feel like that. At first you're like, lightning in the bottle. Like, no, they own that. And these are legitimate takeaways. And that's what I've been saying like the whole time. Like, there's a difference between turnovers and takeaways. Sometimes the offense just jag and give you the ball. The Bears are taking the rock from cats 100%. Consistently. And you got to love what they're doing right now, man. Like I told you, I was going to hop in the locker room. Let's hop inside the locker room. This was the Bears post-game situation. We talked to not only Tremaine Edmonds, but we talked to Jaquan Brisker, who's also playing at a really, really high level right now. Talked to him not only about what's going on right now, but some big picture things with him and Kyler Gordon being back and how they were, if you remember, they were Ryan Poles' first draft picks, right? In that second round. The Bears didn't have first round pick that year. So we'll hear from Tremaine Edmonds and we'll hear from Jaquan Brisker. This was inside the Bears winning locker room on Sunday.
We inside the Bears winning locker room. Got linebacker, I don't know, middle linebacker, weak side linebacker, got strong side linebackers, free safety, I don't know. Tremaine Edmonds in here, man. Tremaine, again, 4 takeaways, man. Like it's a whole thing now. It's not like just some lightning in the bottle, some lucky thing. Y'all are taking the ball away consistently every single week. What's the main thing to it?
Yeah, I think you know, the emphasis that we put on taking the football away throughout the week. We speak about it every time we come into that meeting room. Take the ball away, you know what I mean? Put our offense on a short field and figure out a way to, you know what I mean, make the game easier for all three phases. And you know what I mean? Like I said, we preach it, we put emphasis on it, practice like that, and guys are figuring out ways to take the ball away.
You got your hands on another one today, so that's 3 picks for you. I thought it might have been 4, but 3 picks for you on the season, man. What you see on that one, and just what are you seeing in general in this defense that's allowing you to make those game-changing type plays that we have been hearing about from you?
Yeah, I think just figuring out a way to put myself in position. The one today, got to give credit to TJ as well. You know what I mean? He was able to figure out a way to get hands on the ball. The ball was in the air. I was able to figure out a way to make the play. So I think just for everybody, just you know what I mean, finding your way, finding your spot into the defense and to be able to make those plays and being able to trust what you see out there and just go out there and execute.
If TJ was your height, he would have had his up one early in the game when he laid out on that. He was a great read on that. Um, how disappointed, how frustrated was it to not be able to put an exclamation mark on y'all work in the first half? Y'all was dominating the game, and then that last drive just kind of got out on a big play.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to figure out a way to, to shut them out. But at the end of the day, we was able to figure out a way to win. So we definitely want to, be better going into the half, just to figure out a way to, double dip a little bit. But we'll look at it, we'll learn from it, and we'll get better moving forward.
Congratulations on a good game and double. Stay healthy, man. Appreciate you, man. Thanks, bro. We're here inside the Bears winning locker room. Got safety Jaquan Brisker. Jaquan, another win, another dub, another week, another 4 takeaways. What are y'all doing out there on the takeaways, bro?
Really, it starts in practice. We're just being ball hungry. We're just doing the right thing on and off the field, and it's showing. The football guys are blessing us. So
How happy are you to have Kyler Gordon back out there with you, man? I love watching y'all, how y'all feed off each other. Y'all got back-to-back big plays in the backfield.
That's my guy. You know what I mean? We've been feeding off each other since we came in. I mean, like they said, when we first got here, we got to affect, each side, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to, be playmakers, and it's always amazing having him out there. We just, like you said, we play off him, and then everybody does too. So we just play off each other, which is amazing. It's a talented group.
Y'all came in together, man. Ryan Poles made y'all top 2 picks, and y'all still here and looking to really turn this thing around and get it going. How good does that feel, and how hungry are y'all to get this thing fully turned around?
Yeah, it feels amazing. Like you said, they brought us in to make plays. We were the first 2 draft picks that changed the culture around, and that's what we're trying to do: change the culture around, change the defense around. Just period, just overall, and that's what we're doing. And we're just trying to affect the game as much as we can, and we're just gonna keep going.
Last week in Washington, this is me talking, not true. The refs was wilding. The refs was completely wilding. This week, another tough call against you on a sack that kind of came. They said you hit him in the head or something, but roughing the passer. If that's roughing the passer, I don't know what you're supposed to do no more, bro. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't honestly can't tell you what to do. I mean, I literally put my arm on his elbow. He fumbled the ball. We had the ball, and maybe they seen that we had the ball, and they was like, "Oh no, let's slow this game down." I don't know. I've never been flagged at this in my life, 2 games in a row, but I guess I just gotta have cleaner technique and say hi to the rest before the game.
Right. People like you gotta start taking the ball when you in there on them sacks. Yeah, I know you like to crush everybody. I get that, but the one you had, the ball was like right here. I'm like, just take the ball from him. Yeah. But you want to light everybody up. Take the ball, man.
I'm gonna take the ball next time. I be dreaming about that. I be like, I want to take the ball and just return it for 6. So next time you see me take it, remember we had this conversation.
You know I bring it up. I bring it up. Hey, Quan, I appreciate you, man. Stay healthy.
No doubt, for sure.
Always. Welcome back. We heard from Jaquan Brisker and Tremaine Evans in the locker room. Shout out to y'all on the audio. We didn't realize that it was so low. So appreciate y'all for that. Appreciate y'all riding with us as we work through some of the kinks. We actually had a snafu in the Biggs studio. Our neighbors upstairs had a fire actually in their studio and caused the sprinklers to come on, and so our whole studio got flooded, which is why we weren't in here last week. So we piecing some things back together. But appreciate y'all rocking with us and letting us know when the stuff be less than it should be. So appreciate y'all. Jaquan and
you had to help Jaquan with his swag, man. That's your young guy, man. I gotta shout him out. But I'm getting the camera ready to interview him. He said, "Herb, is my swag straight, man? Am I good? Is my tie straight?" Herb, like, hold on, I got you. So when y'all saw the little piece of swag on Brisker, Herb hooked him up, man, behind the scenes.
Hey, Jaquan is my dude, man. That's my young dude. I love Jaquan, man. I told him he's starting to dress like Kyler Gordon.
Oh, man.
They starting to, Kyler, like, part football player, part model. He go to the fashion shows and Paris Fashion Week.
That fit he had on in Washington, bro.
Hey, Kyler on his own wave.
Ryan Clark said, man, you got to let him live. Anybody that's going to come outside like that, you got to let him live, bro.
KG, that's my dude. He on his own wave on the fashion. I don't even try to understand. It's his own thing. He had like this blade kind of thing going on this past Sunday, and it's all black, long drip. KG do his thing, but now he's starting to get Jaquan under the act too.
I mean, there's some paper floating around there.
Hey, let them boys get to it,
coming.
Man. That's what I like about what Kyler is doing, though. He's thinking about, post football while he's still playing the game. What am I going to get into? Let me get some my feet wet in some of these different industries early. And so, shout out to KG, man. He thinking about his bread. He told me, man, I want to play outside corner so I can get the bread. I said, boy, stay your ass inside and keep getting these sacks and everything else. But shout out to KG and shout out to Jaquan. Listen, man, before I let you go, man, got to talk about Caleb Williams, man, the quarterback position. Where is your mind set with him right now in terms of his development, his inconsistency, the up and down? What are you seeing from him?
Inconsistency. Yeah. Which one is it?
Inconsistency.
Okay, one of those two. But hey, it's only his second year, 20 plus games in. Yeah. Got to take the highs with the lows. But the best part about it is the Bears are winning as he develops. So I looked up a couple numbers. I think his completion percentage is somewhere around 61, 62%, which is tough.
You want to be up closer to 70?
Yeah.
In fact, Coach Johnson said that was the goal, 70.
Okay.
Mama Mag, what's going on?
Mom Dukes, what's the deal? Off-target passing. He leads the league in off-target passes.
Yeah, he says things a lot like, these are throws I usually make. And it's like,
really?
Do you? Yeah, I mean, and it's okay. Like, it's okay. You're not going to make every throw. Sometimes it's mechanical. Sometimes it's just hurrying up. And, sometimes just a little off. And then sometimes you see him make these spectacular throws. Like, how did he get that ball in there?
Right.
I think as he settles in a little bit more, you got to remember, this is still very early, not only in his career, but specifically in this offense.
Exactly.
First year, like, trying to get this thing down. And he's still thinking a lot. And so when he gets past that part of it and he's just able to play football, I think you'll start to see better ball placement, better rhythm in terms of on-time delivery. And so not at all worried about him. I don't know what his ceiling is or if he's going to hit what people thought his ceiling would be, but I think he's going to be able to play at a high level, and the Bears should be able to win not only with him, but because of him.
One more thing about Caleb. I think he gets caught up. Me and you, it's one play Sunday where I think he got caught up between whether he wanted to pass it or run. He got caught. He saw a defender. The defender was being blocked.
Right.
He busted a spin move.
That pirouette he hit.
And we looked at each other like, boy, what the hell are you doing?
What are you doing, my boy?
So I think that's another, he's in his head. I think he's still thinking about trying to make the big play instead of just getting rid of the ball, man, and living to see another down instead of potentially turning the ball over and giving the offense a chance to come down and score.
Yeah, he's got to be more decisive, I think, in those situations. And like Coach said in his press conference yesterday, you don't want to neuter him. You don't want to take that element of his game away and say, just stop doing that. But also, he's just got to be more decisive. If you're going to take off, bro. If you're going to throw it. But all of this running around, pirouetting in the backfield, you're going to get yourself hurt and you're going to get the ball taken away from you. So just make some decisions quick. Also, receivers got to help him a little bit on the back end.
True.
The Saints made a couple nice plays trying to, get their hands on the football, but he was able to scramble a couple of times, and he always looks to Rome when he scrambles. And he threw a couple at Rome that I would like to see Rome come down with those. And I think Rome would say the same thing. Like, you got to come down with those.
Okay.
Do a bit better job of like boxing out, shielding the ball. Also, the receivers, I mean, they all young except DJ and OZ, but they got to come back to the football, right? Like, there was an opportunity for Luther deep down the right sideline, and Caleb is scrambling. Bro, You got to stick your foot in the ground and come back to the football.
Yep.
Luther's steady going up the field trying to get the big play. Bro, your DB is right here on you. If you hit the brakes and then just come right back to the football, you got an easy 20-yard gain right there. And Caleb is telling him in the play, Caleb running with the ball, he's like, come back. Bring your ass back, boy. Like, it's you got to have a feel for those things, and that comes with a little bit more experience, and they got to get just on that same rhythm. I think that'll come. I think Luther, next time you'll see him hit the brakes, come back to the football, be a friendly target for your quarterback. That's what I always like playing the position. Like, hey, help me, help you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get you to rock.
Yeah.
Help me. And so, I think the receivers got to do a little bit better job when he is on the run, but also he's just got to make a decision, bro, and do it quickly.
Caleb has seen better days, man, but when and while he develops, I'm not mad at it. Continue to stack the days, and man, a 4-piece spicy for the Bears, man. Would you say it was the first Trump administration?
First Trump administration last time the Bears won 4 in a row, bro.
Hey, I got a quick message for everybody. Which camera am I in, P.I.?
That's you right here.
The World Series starts Friday. I know this is the Herb Howard Show, and we're talking Bears football, but the World Series is set to start Friday in Toronto. We got the Los Angeles Dodgers set to win World Series number 9. But I got a quick message for all you baseball
Who won
fans.
Game 7?
Toronto Blue Jays won Game 7. George Springer with a 3-run home
That was
run
yesterday.
last night. Mariners were up 3-1. George Springer doing what George Springer does. This guy's a home run machine in the playoffs. He one-upped himself last night. 4-3 victory for the Toronto Blue Jays.
So I was talking to Bears writer Larry Mayer in the press room yesterday, and he was depressed. He had Mariners fan, so he depressed. I'm like Larry, it's Game 7, man. It's the best 2 words of sports. He's like, not if you me. You just don't feel good about going to Game 7. We was up 3-2.
Smoked.
And they got smoked.
Yeah.
Damn.
Toronto, them fans. It's a crazy place to play, man. They came through, and then you got what you wanted if you were Seattle. Bottom of the ninth, top of the ninth, you got Julio Rodriguez up to possibly tie the game.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Blue Jays closer. Mowed him down, man.
Yeah.
Struck him out with a wicked slider. And the Blue Jays advanced, man. So I do think the Dodgers will win the World Series 4-1. But all I wanted to say was the saying is usually don't hate the player, hate the game. This time, don't hate the game, man. Hate the players. Y'all mad at the Dodgers because they stacked the deck and they running it up? Man, be mad at them cheap-ass owners that ain't spending no money in these organizations, man. They always talking about they losing money. I bet you if we opened up them pocketbooks and opened up them balance sheets and saw them numbers,
the bread flow,
y'all ain't losing no money, or y'all would have sold them teams by now. So shout out to the Dodgers for setting the standard. Keep running it up, man, and the Dodgers will win World Series number 9.
You cover one of the most popular teams, one of the biggest fan bases.
Tom Ricketts, open
MLB.
up your checkbook, man. End of story.
Appreciate the soft bucket, my brother. As always,
you know it.
Going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to quickly go around the league at some of the games I thought was most important. Then we'll wrap things up with Buddy Ass Tweak, and this is the Herb Howard Show. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
I am the Sumo, Morgan Park, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
This is Jason Kidd, and we're rocking with the Bigs.
I'm Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
What's up, y'all? This is Kyrie Irving. You're tuned into the Bigs.
What's happening is Dame Lillard, a.k.a. Dame Dollar, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
What's up? This is D Rose, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
This is Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks. You're rocking with the Bigs.
Welcome back to the Herb Howard Show. We are live inside the big studios. I appreciate all of y'all for being a part of the conversation. Thank y'all so much for y'all input, y'all comments. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you have subscribed to the page, and please set the alerts so you actually get reminded each and every time we go live or drop some new content here on the page. Let's hop around the league real quick. some of the most important games that I saw throughout the week. Let's go ahead and start with these Indianapolis Colts, man. Listen, first, I was with everybody else. Like, the Colts can't really be coming like that. They are, man. They went out to L.A., handled business on the Chargers. They beat them 38-24. Daniel Jones is having a legitimate resurgence. The same thing we saw from Sam Darnold when he was in Minnesota. We're seeing that type of situation happen right now with Daniel Jones. High pick for the New York Giants. Didn't work out there. He's now with the Colts, and they starting to call that man Indiana Jones. He's balling right now. They continue to stack win after win. Big game for Patriots head coach. They go out there, they get 31-13 against his former team, the Tennessee Titans. You know, that had to be a really, really good feeling for Mike Vrabel to go back there and get the dub. Similar situation happened with the Bears this week. Defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, he downplayed it all week. They were playing the Saints. He spent 15 out of his 24 NFL seasons with the New Orleans Saints. You knew that game meant something to him. They gave him the game ball based on how the defense performed on Sunday, and he was a little bit emotional in his locker room speech. You could tell that the game meant just a little bit more to him. So shout out to DA and shout out to Coach Vrabel in New England, and shout out to the quarterback out there too. He's balling right now. Drake May might be like turned into a top 5, top 10 quarterback right now. Shout out to Drake May and the Patriots for what they're doing right now. The Chiefs are a bike. All that talk about all the Chiefs, it's over with, they done fell off. Argue with your mama. They bike 31-0 over the Raiders. The Rams continue to play at a high level. I thought the Jaguars was coming together, getting their stuff together. Matt Stafford and them boys didn't care nothing about that. 35-7 over them, handled business. The Bengals, I think this was lightning in the bottle, right? They go to the Steelers. The Steelers were in control or trying to really seize control of that AFC North situation. Lamar Jackson's been out. The Ravens are not playing at a high level. The Browns are the Browns. And then the Bengals had lost Joe Burrow. They made a trade within the division. The Browns sent veteran quarterback Joe Flacco to the Bengals, and he came out with a bang. All he said was, listen, I don't know the playbook. I don't know the people, the coaches, but I know we got Jamar Chase. Throw that man the rock. 16 catches for 160 yards and a touch. Like, that's just what, hey, the Bears got that coming up in a couple weeks. We'll talk about that next week, but I would just bracket Jamar Chase. He's not going to be the dude to beat me. I got personal issues with Joe Flacco, man. My freshman year, SIU, Joe Flacco, SIU was number one in the country, FCS level. You talk about having Brandon Jacobs, Arkeet Whitlock, like balling. That man, Joe Flacco, came in there with Delaware, came to Carbondale, Delaware in the semifinals and was throwing the ball all over the yard and packed the Salukis up. So I might just be hating on Joe Flacco, but I don't think he can continue to duplicate what he did. I think that was a one-off. Monday Night Football, the Lions, big statement game against the Bucs. The Bucs have been playing really well. Baker Mayfield have been playing the MVP level. I'm not saying that's over with, but the Lions put a big pause to that. Jahmyr Gibbs might be the most dangerous weapon in the National Football League. I'm dead serious. He's playing like Marshall Faulk level football right now. He could play running back. He could play receiver. He's explosive. He's dynamic. He gets the ball in his hands, and it's a problem all the time. The Lions are still going to be something you got to deal with as you continue to get into this NFC conversation. That's around the league. Some of the games that jumped out to me. Got to take one final break to thank some of our special contributors, and then Buddy ass tweaking real bad right after this. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for one of the funnier segments of the show, Buddy Ass Tweaking. But before we do, got to shout out some of the other sponsors, man. Shout out to Moore's Brewing Company. They got the breast cancer awareness, the pink cans, man. You see it on the football field each and every October. All the guys having on their pink uniforms and accessories and whatnot. Moore's Brewing Company put the cans together too. So shout out to Moore's Brewing Company. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us as always. And family and money only. West Side, let's go, man. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. Make sure y'all check out Famo and all of their apparel. All you 290 folks, definitely get it to them. Buddy Ass Tweaking, man. Listen, this is the segment. If you ain't caught this one yet, somebody tweaks every week in the National Football League. Somebody does something absolutely egregious, something so ridiculous that I don't know what else to say but Buddy Ass Tweaking. This week, indubitably, the New York Giants. We talking about Coach Daboll. We talking about the offense. We talking about the defense. We talking about the kicking game. Ooh, the kicking game. These boys missed 2 extra points, a field goal. Couldn't convert on 2-point conversions. Not good. They went into the fourth quarter with a 19-point lead. A 19-point lead. 19-0, in fact. They hadn't given up a single point to Denver the entire game. 1,602 times a team has went into the fourth quarter with a 19-0 lead. 1,602 times that team has won the game. That streak is over because the Giants tweaked. They gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter. 33 points in the fourth quarter. All types of crazy stuff had to go on. We talking about tip balls turned into touchdowns. We talking about missed extra points. We talking about penalties. We talking about all type of pure foolery, bad decision making, bad decisions, bad throws. You up 19-0. You up 19-0. Not only was they up 19-0, they themselves scored 13 points in the fourth quarter. Still took the L. I don't know how you do that. Seems impossible. It seems like the way the Bears was losing some of them games last year. Hey, New York, they was trying to get in position to be 3-4. Instead, they had 2-5 right now. They had, at one point in the fourth quarter, I think about 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, they had a 99.8% chance probability of winning the game. 99.8. Denver Broncos said, we'll take the point too, and we'll take the game. They came back and won that thing 33-32. New York, Buddy Ass Tweaking. All the buddies. This has been the Herb Howard Show. We got to go. Thank y'all so much, man. Shout out to all of y'all in the chat. Wendell, I see you. Shanita, I see you. Crystal. Joe is in the building. Dusto, what's up, man? We appreciate all y'all checking in. Bear Jordan, appreciate it. Mama Mac, we saw you for sure. Greatly appreciate you checking in. Savage P, Soulful. Listen, man, we appreciate all of y'all checking in. We couldn't do it without y'all. Greatly appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share. We'll be back on Friday for another edition of the Herb Howard Show. Till then, y'all be good to each other. Peace.